legacy conversations, the legal part of it. I want to talk today about something which most lawyers will deny, and they might even be very angry about it. But that is ways how lawyers can cheat you, and they do it mostly legally, and they get away with it a lot of the times. So what happens? The first thing which they do is, these ones in private practice, is they pad your file. In other words, what they do is they would write a letter on your behalf. But they have different systems there, they have different ranks. You have like a senior partner, you've got a partner, you've got an associate, you've got a director. You know, all these fancy sounding titles. So all of them gets a part inside drafting this letter. So you would find the most junior attorney, probably an article clerk, will do the draft. Then the next one in line, the associate or the professional assistant, which is just an attorney who is like a very junior one. You will look at it, make a few changes. Most of the time unnecessary so, because these documents are mostly the same. Same old, nothing changes in law, folks. And so then it gets to the partner, then it gets to the senior partner, and every time they touch that file, it costs you money. At different fee rates, of course, because the senior partner is going to charge you a lot more than what the junior one will charge. And so at the end of the day, something which should have cost you X amount of dollars, now it's costing you Y amount of dollars. And that Y amount is always way more than what it should be. Another form of padding is where you draft an agreement and you make that agreement so long, unnecessary so. You start adding clauses, you make it double space, you make the font a bit bigger. It really looks nice. It's like a very small book, you know, it's about 20 pages, 25 pages. Sometimes I've seen contracts up to 800 pages. And it's all unnecessary, because most of the contracts really shouldn't be that long. You cannot cover everything and anything in law. You have to be specialized to what you want to do, what your client wants to do. Now for myself, if you talk to any of my clients, I will tell you I draft an agreement quicker than most people can even dream of doing it. And for me it is simple, you know, you just find out what does the client want. Is this possible in law? I would advise you go and look at the clip where we talk about agreements. And then you just draft what the client wants, as long as it's inside the laws of the country where you're doing it. And you get everything in place, and of course there needs to be certain clauses there as well. But you really cannot draft for every single future eventuality. It's not possible. So my contracts tend to be quite short. They can be long. I will make very long contracts if I have to. But mostly why we're doing it is because it costs money. You pay for every word. So once again, they make it as long as possible, as confusing as possible, unnecessary meetings with it. And then they make changes upon changes, and that's how you generate more money. I think it's unethical, it shouldn't be allowed. But of course you can't prove these things. As I said in the beginning, it's not possible to prove it. I'm just telling you, if it seems to you that this fellow is just making additions to your agreement, which is hard to explain, then that's exactly what he's doing. Then the other thing which I like to do is they delay the case. So now let's say you go to court, and in a place like South Africa you will not go to the High Court within 2 or 3 years. Some people say even 5 years before the action started. And then you get to court, and guess what? Your attorney don't go there, or they just postpone it for some stupid reason or whatever. And there is a thing which is called justice delayed is justice not served. And that is very true. But that's the way how they make money, because you pay for a full day. So it may end up cost you thousands of dollars, thousands of rands for that day, and nothing happened that day. Now yes, we can talk about the courts as well. The courts are not as efficient as they used to be. In my time as a prosecutor, if you get into that court, by 9 o'clock the magistrate walks in, and that court better be ready. And it will be sitting and be ready until tea break, and then until lunch break, and then it carries on. But today you may have 2-3 hours a day in court, and you pay the attorney and your advocate the full amount. Which can be argued both ways, but that is one of the ways they are doing it. Again, it's impossible to prove. And if there's any foreigners listening here, you shouldn't be paying your South African attorney or any attorney in Africa or wherever in dollars. You should be paying him in the local currency. But once again, they will come to you and say, no, we're going to charge you an X amount. You convert that to dollars and you think, well, that's not that expensive. Your New York lawyers are 20 times more and you're getting good value. And well, this is known as overreaching. Now, once again, it is not illegal per se, but I feel that if you approach a lawyer, say in Ghana, when you're going to pay a Ghanaian currency, or if you approach somebody in South Africa, you're going to pay South African rand, you should not be paying dollars. Of course, the reverse is also true. If you have a client, like I'm based in Switzerland, I cannot charge South African rand. It's a currency which have no value in a place like this. So you then have to charge dollars, which is fine. But I think you understand what I mean. You should pay the currency of the place you are in, and that amount of money you pay there should be reasonable. It should be in line with the seniority of a fellow who's helping you, as well as the degree of difficulty in the case. So it is really to your advantage, I would say, to go and just do a bit of research. Just research a bit and find out what lawyers normally charge. And then you will find out quite quickly who's trying to do you in. Together with this thing of postponement without reason, what they also do is they start a paper war. In other words, you write a letter or you receive a letter, you have to answer. In law, you always have to answer. If you don't answer in law, it can be seen that you are acknowledging guilt to something. So you have to deny. And so a paper war starts, where you just keep on writing papers or letters to each other. Every time you write that letter, it's getting padded, the fees grows and grows and grows, and you as the client then of course have to pay for all of that. It is highly unethical, but it happens every single day. The other thing they do, and this is the last thing they do, is that you will find rubber stamping. In other words, you're thinking that it's the attorney himself who's signing that letter. No, it's not him. Many times they just write PP or something underneath it, and the secretary will actually sign it on his behalf. He probably doesn't even know about it. He's gone to a golf course or to some club. And so that is one of the ways we're doing it as well. Now note folks, I'm not saying that everybody is doing it. It happens a lot, but it's not to say everybody. And we should not accuse people without, of course, having all the evidence. But I will say this to you. The bigger the law firm, the more fancy it is, and this is just my opinion, the more the chance of this type of thing happening. For the simple reason that the overheads are so high. Somebody is paying for that fancy office at the right address with the nice paintings and everything inside it. Someone's paying for that. And that someone is you. So you're better off to go to the small guy. You're actually better off to go to the mom and dad type of shop. People who serve their community, who you know, who you've seen in church or wherever. Those are the people which you should support. Of course, it doesn't work like that. If a foreign company moves into an African country, they go for the biggest law firm they can find, for obvious reasons. And then, of course, they get burnt. I've seen in my time as a legal advisor that somebody or some law firm would send you a bill, a fee note for hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And then you look at it and you say to them, how can you possibly charge this kind of money? And then suddenly they come to you and they start to bribe you. Or they try, take you to a fancy dinner, and even how can I put this, even a men's establishment, if you understand what I mean. Of course you don't fall for that, but some people do. But I've seen them come down with their price 10 times. Well, let's say they were charging 700,000 rands for an agreement, then it comes down to 70,000. And that shows you the difference. So you need a good legal advisor who can keep an eye on this type of thing and who's experienced. And of course who will stand by you. That is one of the major things, got to stand by you. Okay folks, that is the ways an attorney can cheat you. I say once again, it's not to say your attorney is doing it, it's not to say the one next door is doing it. Just be aware of these things. If you know about it, you can look for it, and that's the reason why we have these clubs, is to assist you.